Well, good Sunday morning, friends. I know many are celebrating Palm Sunday today, and though we are looking forward to observing Passover for the same reasons. Um, just really wanted to share a video. I got a few mosquitoes running around in here this morning, but anyway, just wanted to share this. Our location here in this new home, specifically one of the features I will show you in a minute, has been reminding me of a vision, very powerful vision God gave me 20 years ago. And He's been reminding me of that off and on for the last 20 years. But now that we're living here and we have this feature here, it's even more meaningful. The vision I had received was I was praying actually when I received the vision. I was diligently praying in the shower and asking the Lord to specifically remove the thought processes that had developed over years and years of addiction to pornography and sexual promiscuity and all that. And that's when I had this vision, and the vision was of the locked gates of hell, behind which were piles of dismembered body parts, mostly arms and legs. The Lord, I was walking on the right hand of the Lord, and we were walking toward these gates, and we stopped about 20 feet from them. And He gave me a key, and the key was in the shape of a silver cross, and it was covered in His blood, and He handed it to me. And I knew He wanted me to take the key, open the gates, and go past. There were demons guarding the gates. Go past the demons, go inside the gates, get the body parts that were there, and take them back to the people they belong to. And so, as God had it, 5 years later, and it seems to go in 5-year segments for some reason. 5 years later, I actually, from a coworker, received the day after Valentine's Day. I received that same silver cross I'd seen, minus the blood, of course. And when I asked him why he was giving it to me, and he knew nothing about the vision I'd had, but he said, well, somebody had given it to him. It was a necklace, actually, and it doubled as a drum tuning key. So it was a key as well. But when I asked him why he was giving it to me, he said that he was doing so because he was given it the day before on Valentine's Day as a gift, but he didn't wear jewelry. And every time he prayed and asked the Lord what to do with it, He said, give it to Richard. So I received it. The next day, God began to speak to me about we need to be in tune with the drumbeat of His heart, and we need to continue in the Scriptures. We need to continue in fellowship. We need to continue in praise and worship. And that's where the deliverance lies, the deliverance is ultimately in the finished work of the cross and all that means for us as believers. And so, anyway, then 5 years later, I was sharing that testimony with some other folks, some young kids outside a church that I was attending at the time, and learned that there was a young man that was setting up his drums, or trying to set up his drums to help lead worship that night, but he didn't have his drum tuning key with him. So I was able to go in and let him borrow that one, and it was the first time the key had actually been used for its intended purpose. And during that process, the Lord spoke to me and told me that young man was going to be used in healing one day. And later on that day, I found out he'd already had been used in healing earlier on in the week. His mother shared with me that earlier that week he had been led by the Lord to go up on their roof over her mom's bedroom and pray for her healing related to a very painful condition in her legs related to lupus. And remember, the vision I had related to arms and legs mainly. And so she was hardly able to walk. And so while he was praying, the Lord said to go down and tell your mother that the next morning when she puts her feet on the ground, after getting out of bed, that she will be healed. And that's exactly what happened. So the Lord had already fulfilled that. So here we are now at 20 years from that vision, 15 years after receiving the cross, 10 years after that first healing. And as the Lord would have it. Oh, well, I thought I could turn this around once I did the video, but I'm going to turn around this way. I can't flip the camera around, but as you can see, we've got these wrought iron, well, not wrought iron, they're steel, but gates that look very similar to the gates that were in my vision. And this fence, the gates right there. The only difference is that the gates in my dream, my vision, were swinging gates, and these are sliding gates. But the representation is still very similar. But anyway, I just wanted to share this, that as the owner of this, or not owner, but the renter now, I have the authority to open this gate and go out into the hellish world and invite people to come in. You know, this is our home here. The Lord has blessed us with. Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
Got anything else to say?
Hi.
Just hi? Okay. But anyway, this is our home. We're living here in Porter, Texas now. And so we're wanting to open our home as soon as the Lord releases us to do so. You know, we're in the midst of this COVID virus thing now, and He did tell us very clearly, as I shared on another video, He did tell us very clearly to stay at home as much as possible, and gave us scriptures to back that up. So, and some of that was prior to receiving, or prior to that order being issued officially by the government. The Lord had told me to stay at home, and then confirm that after the fact through a local pastor who came to visit, as well as through Carrie, who received the same verses that the pastor shared with us. So anyway, we're excited about what the Lord's got in store for us here, and we will welcome you with open arms once the Lord says it's time. But we just wanted to lay that out there. So God bless y'all. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.